Hey guys, and welcome to Ideas Every Day. Today I'm going to teach you how to make the simplest birdhouse you can ever build, and it is all for about $2 worth of supplies. You would just need basic tools. You can actually do this with less. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But it's a fun project if you're just getting started into woodworking, or if you want to do it with your family members. Definitely recommend it, and let's get started. All you're going to need is one piece of fence that you can get from your local hardware store. They usually run about six inches across, well, roughly 6 inches across, and it's about 6 height. This is actually going to be more than enough that we're going to need for today's project. They usually come with dug ears at the back and flat on one side. We're mainly going to use this side. Now, I do recommend using this wood because it's very cheap, very easy to use. But yeah, I recommend this because it's very cheap and you can find it almost anywhere. Now, for the rest of the tools, you're going to need a hammer, or a regular hammer, just your nails. You're going to need a pencil. You need a ruler or a square, very useful to make a 45-degree angle. You're going to need a tape measure, and you're going to need your drill. And in this case, I'm going to be using a saw. You can use this hand saw, you can do whatever you like, just use your power tool. Also, tools that are going to make this easier is your clamps. We'll use this to hold on our wood and make the cuts. Now, you're going to need a Forstner bit, or you can use a tool just to make any hole, any size that you like, just to make the hole for the bird to be able to go in and out of the house. And those will be all the tools that you need. So we're going to start by doing the sides of the birdhouse. We're going to need to make a cut about 4 1/4 inches to make this 4 1/4 by 6 inch, and make sure you start cutting on the flat side. To do that, we put our measure. We're gonna make a mark 4 1/4, and if you don't have a square, you can make a mark on the other side for 4 1/4, and with a ruler make your line. Or if you have your trusty square, just line it up. And we can make our line. Now, to make our first cut, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clamp the wood down to the table. And a good tip is, if you grab your square, you line up your saw to make sure it's straight. You can follow and guide it. We're going to clamp down the square. Right there. And now we can easily follow the square and have straight cuts. Now we're just going to make the cut. Now, to cut the second side, what we're going to do is, instead of drawing the second line, measuring, drawing the second line, we're actually going to use the first side that we cut, and we're going to use it to measure. So both sides are going to be exactly the same. And there we go. And now we're going to cut this side. Line up our square again. There we go. Let's clamp it down. And let's make our cut. Now that we have both sides done, now we need to cut 3 pieces of 8 1/2, which are going to make up the bottom and the 2 parts of the roof. We're going to do them the same way. We're just going to measure them out and cut the 3 pieces out. So again, let's make them 8 1/2. you want it down. Now that we have the bottom, the roof, and the two sides, we need to make the front and the back of the house. Now to do the front and the back of the house, they're gonna have a 45-degree angle. We're gonna measure 4¼ inches. Four and a quarter inches. We're gonna mark that. We're gonna go all the way to the edge. 4¼ inches. Mark that. And to the edge. Draw 45 across. Now we're gonna repeat this process on the other side of the board to make an X. I'm gonna go make 4¼ come to the side, all the way to the edge. And now we have an X. Now the first cut we're gonna make like this. Room. And let's make that first cut. cut. Now to make sure both sides are going to be the same height, I'm going to line this one up, our previous side, and we're going to use it to draw our line, and we're going to make our final cut. So at this point we have our front and our back, we have our bottom, and we have our two sides. And we're gonna have a roof. The way we're gonna combine these are gonna be one on top of the other. So what that means, to make it the same length on each side, we're gonna have to get rid of just the width of this. But we don't have to measure that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay one board on top of the other, and then we're just gonna use it to measure that. So we can just make one more cut. There we go. And let's get to cutting. Now we have one long one and one short one. Just gonna make sure that the short one's gonna be on top of the long one, and they'll be both even. The last step to making the house is to make the hole for the entrance, and to do so, we measure half of this, make a little mark. We're in the middle, and more to the middle of the board, and that is where we're gonna drill our hole. You should always have some wood under whenever you're gonna make a hole. Make sure it just doesn't punch through. It actually cuts in nicely. Now we have all our pieces ready to go, and for assembly, this is the bottom, and we have our hole, and now we're ready. The first thing we're gonna assemble is gonna be the roof. We're gonna make sure we grab the shorter side onto the long one. What I like to do is put the nails halfway in first. We're gonna use 3 nails, and then we tap them in. Now we have our roof. Now the next thing we're going to do is put sides. So you can do it to the front or the back of the house, doesn't matter. I'm going to grab one. I'm going to put both sides together. So we're going to repeat the same step. dog. Her name is Jill. She loves it when you hammer down things. There we go, one side down. The other side, make sure they're flush. There we go. Now let's put on the other side, which should be the entrance. Now, since this board may have a little bit of a bulge, it might be a little tough to get them in, so just get one side in first, and then push it a little bit to get the other side in. Make sure one side is completely flush. Hammer that side down. And then you have to push it just a little bit for the other side. Just a tiny little bit for the other one. There we go. And that is half of the house. Now, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna touch the floor, the bottom of it. What you do wanna do is make sure to have it flush on the back if you're gonna put it against the wall, or if you want it in the middle, but I'm gonna put it too flush to the back. Make sure Bird has room to stand on the front. And again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do with some nails in the bottom. Now, be very careful when nailing this down. It's going to be very wobbly. Just be very careful because it won't be stable. Just make sure you're holding it. Go, and now we're going to put the two front ones. Just to line it up. There we go. Two down. And all we're going to be missing is just the roof. Now for the roof, the same thing. You want to make sure it's flush to the back, especially if you're going to put it against the wall. Make sure you align it right. Use this side for the back. There we go. Make sure you align it flush. And you're just going to have to guide to see on the back. It's going to be easier than on the front, but on the front you're just gonna have to estimate where the wood is going to be. may need a little bit of persuasion. And there we go. Like I said, you're just gonna have to estimate where it's gonna be. I'm going down here. That's perfect. On the other side. We're gonna estimate where it's gonna be. There we go. And that is it. Now we have made our simplest birdhouse. You want to add some nails just to make sure to cover the bottom, or more on the roof, you're more than welcome to. But I hope you enjoyed it. Here it is. Thank you guys. If you like this project, please let me know in the comments, and let me know how did your birdhouse turn out. Don't forget to subscribe, and until the next project.